Welcome back to Go With Us, and this is everything you really need to know this week in Pokemon Go, running from February the 2nd all the way until February the 9th. Let's get straight into our calendar now, and we're going to kick off with our 5-star raids happening this week. Coming out of rotation on the 4th is going to be Tornadus Incarnate form. Tornadus Incarnate isn't the best Pokemon to go after. It's currently the 36th best flying type attacker. Its Therian form is actually a lot better, especially as a flying type attacker with Bleak Wind Storm, but of course, as we know, the Incarnate forms cannot learn that move. These raids are going to have a 1 in 20 shiny rate, so if you're still chasing that shiny, this could be your last time to get it for some time. And then coming into rotation again, we are seeing Dialga and Palkia coming into raids from the 4th all the way until the 16th, so they're going to be there for about 2 weeks. You may have rated these Pokemon a lot, but we're going to mention a few things that I think you may have forgotten. Just remember that on Dialga's side, it has a max CP of 4565, an attack of 275, a defense of 211, and a stamina of 205, which translates this Pokemon to be the 13th best Steel type attacker in the game, and currently the 30th best Dragon type attacker in the game with Dragon Breath and Draco Meteor. The shiny rate for these Dialga raids is going to be 1 in 20, and that 100% CP in non-weather boosted weather is going to be 2307, but in weather boosted weather, which is going to be snowy and windy weather because of its Dragon and Steel typing, that 100% CP is going to be 2884. Now let's have a look at Palkia very quickly. A max CP of 4512, which is very strong, an attack of 280, very strong, a defense of 215, and a stamina of 189. The non-weather boosted 100% IV is going to be 2280, but in weather boosted weather, which is going to be rain and windy weather because of its Dragon and Water typing, the 100% CP there is going to be 2850, and that's going to be at level 25. You're probably thinking, Mikey, why are these Pokemon back in raids? We've raided them so much, I have all that I really need. Stop. You are forgetting that at the end of the month, the Kalos Tour will be coming back. If you did not raid Origin Palkia or Origin Dialga in the previous kind of year to 18 months, this is going to be one of your best opportunities to get the candy, but specifically the XL candy for these Pokemon, because remember, it is the same candy and XL candy for the Origin forms. So I would strongly suggest when you do fight these Pokemon, have a Mega Level 3 Dragon or Steel type Pokemon when you're trying to raid Dialga, or a Dragon or Water type Pokemon when you're raiding Palkia. So you can really maximize the chances of getting that candy as well as XL candy, because as we know, a Mega Level 3 Pokemon grants you another 25% chance to get extra XL candy. Huge thing to not overlook here. Then let's touch on our Mega raids. Replacing Mega Ampharos on the 4th, we have Mega Pidgeot, which will be making its return into Mega raids also until the 16th. Mega Pidgeot right now is a very good flying type attacker. It's currently the 9th best flying type attacker in the game, and overall, this is just another very good Pokemon. You actually want to try and get all of these Mega Pokemon at Mega Level 3, because in Mega Pidgeot's case, it does share a normal and flying typing. There's another 2 types that you can get the candy and XL candy for whenever those correlating events come around. Up next, we have our new Shadow raid boss coming into 5-star raids for the month of February, and kicking off on February the 1st, we are going to see Shadow Regigigas for the entire month of February. Shadow Regigigas is incredibly powerful. It has a max CP of 4913, which is huge, an attack value of 287, which is astronomically good, a defense of 210, and a stamina of 221. Off the bat, this Pokemon is incredibly good. It only has one weakness, which is going to be fighting, and it only takes resisted damage from Ghost. It is currently the best normal type attacker in the game with Hidden Power and Crush Grip, but as we know, normal type Pokemon or normal type moves don't do very well for us in raids because they can't hit for super effective damage. However, in Shadow Regigigas' case, it does learn another 2 moves that it could do some damage for, and that's going to be Thunder and Focus Blast. These are 2 moves that if you pair them against the right raid boss, could do an incredible amount of damage. So overall, Shadow Regigigas, it's a very powerful Pokemon, but it just doesn't have the most utility in the game just simply because it only shares that normal typing. Next up, we're going to touch on our Research Breakthrough box. This is going to come every single time we complete our 7th day stamp, and once you complete that 7th day stamp, you will get a Research Breakthrough box with a couple of rewards, but you will also get an award with a certain Pokemon. The Pokemon for the month of Feb are going to be Lapras in there at 1131 CP for your guaranteed hundo. Galarian Mr. Mime is going to be in there at 8 3886 CP. Snorlax will be in there at 1382 CP. Dreepy's in there at 328 CP. Honedge will be in there at 595 CP, but it's also worth mentioning that towards the end of the month, the Kalos Tour will be live, which means that this Pokemon Shiny will be unlocked. That Shiny Honedge is absolutely incredible. And last but not least, we also have Sinistea in there at a 488 CP. That Shiny is available too, but that Sinistea could also be the antique form. If you want to see if it's the antique form, just take the evolution screen. If the silhouette is grayed out and it is going to cost 400 candies for the evolution, then you do know that you do have the antique form. Alternatively, you could just appraise it with your team leader and they will tell you if it is going to be the phony form or the antique form. Then straight back to our calendar, and every morning, remember at 9 a.m. we can collect our Adventure Sync rewards. We have gone through them a couple times, but please remember, once you walk 25 kilometers or once you walk 50 kilometers, if you do have egg slots open to get the 5-kilometer Adventure Sync egg as well as the 10-kilometer Adventure Sync egg. Hatching from the 5-kilometer Adventure Sync eggs, we can see Riolu, Bonsly, Turtoga, Skarmory, as well as Archen. Riolu and Skarmory are definitely your best picks there, as we know the new megas will be coming to Pokemon Go at a certain time. In the 10-kilometer Adventure Sync eggs, we can see Dreepy, Beldum, Drampa, Turtonator, and Gibble. Some really great picks in there. Beldum, of course, going into Metagross and eventually Mega Metagross, a very good Steel type attacker as well as Psychic type attacker. Drampa does have a Mega coming to the game at some point. Gibble, as we know, going into Mega Garchomp, is currently the second best ground type attacker in the game and one of the best dragon type attackers in the game. Incredibly useful Mega, one of the best in the game. Back to our calendar again, and that's not the only thing going down on Monday. Please do not forget about the Max Monday featuring Dynamax Wailmer, which will be in max battles from 6 to 7 p.m. local time on that Monday. Dynamax Wailmer can go into Dynamax Wailord. It has a max CP of 2577, an attack of 175, defense of 87. Both of those are pretty lackluster, but just have a look at its stamina. It's 347 HP stat, which is absolutely incredible. This is why this Pokemon is such a good healer. It's not a great attacking Pokemon at all, or even a defender to be honest, but as a healer in certain scenarios. In fact, against something like Ho-Oh this last raid weekend, it could have potentially had a role to play, even though there still would have been better tank stroke healers to use. The other great thing about Wailord is that if we have a look at its fast attack moves as a D-Max Pokemon, it has a total of 3. It gets Zen Headbutt, Roll Out, but it does have access to Water Gun, which is the same type move, but more importantly, it is a half a second fast move, so it can charge the Dynamax meter a lot quicker, so we can eventually get into that D-Max phase. Back to the calendar again, and moving on to Tuesday the 3rd, we can talk about our first event of the week starting at 10 a.m. local time, running all the way until Sunday the 8th, is going to be the Carnival of Flmaigo Event. This of course brings about the new Pokemon Go debut of the synchronized Pokemon Flamigo, which is a fighting and flying type Pokemon originally coming from the Paldea region in Generation 9. Flamigo has a pretty solid base stat product. Its attack value is actually the highest out of all of them, so it could be a very solid flying type attacker, potentially maybe fighting, but it's going to be a very glassy Pokemon overall, so maybe in PvP it could shine decently. This event also brings about shiny boosts to certain Pokemon like shiny Lotad, shiny Spritzee, as well as shiny Pikipek. The event bonuses is that it's going to be 2 times incense duration as well as 2 times the daily adventure incense duration, on top of the fact that once we catch that Flamigo, we're going to get an additional 500 Stardust. So please remember to throw in your star pieces, especially if it's cloudy weather or if it's windy weather and these things start spawning a lot more frequently. Throw in that star piece so you can really maximize your gains. If everything goes according to plan, you could be looking at about 900 Stardust per catch on every single Flamigo. That's a lot of Stardust, especially if they are common. Spawning in the wild, you can see things like Lotad, Baniri, Pikipek, rare spawns for Spritzee and Flamigo. Field research will be going down. I know Flamigo will be coming out of that. If you guys want to know the 100% IV for Flamigo, it is going to be 1181 CP, so screenshot that now if you want to remember. A global collection challenge will be live for all trainers where we're going to have to complete these collection challenges to get XP, Stardust, as well as more encounters with the event-themed Pokemon. And there also will be a paid timed research ticket for a total cost of $5 where we can get 1 star piece, a new event-themed avatar item pose. To be honest, this ticket is definitely not worth it. It's probably the worst ticket we've seen in some time. Those are pretty much the main details you really need to worry about in that event. However, we are going to leave our video explaining how you can get more frequency of Galarian birds during this event, and this is the whole hidden feature of this particular video, and believe me, this event is actually very underrated. From everything we just read out, it probably looks a little bit meh, but I'm telling you, watch the video at the end of this video, and we will leave a card above us right now explaining how you can really go after the Galarian birds in this event. Very underrated. Just some top targets you want to be going after. Please do not overlook Picky Peck, of course coming with a shiny boost, but going into Toucannon with Beak Blast will need an elite charge TM. If you didn't play the previous Calm Day we just had in the last 2 or 3 months, Beak Blast makes this Pokemon to be one of the best flying type attackers in the game, especially as a budget option, is breaking into the top 15. But especially in the Go Battle League, specifically the Ultra League, this Pokemon performs incredibly well. We will leave the rankings on screen. It's a good opportunity to try and get yourself a good Toucannon as a raid attacker, but also in PvP. Please consider going after Baniri as well, going into Lopunny, because Lopunny does have a Mega Lopunny that is available, which is currently the 22nd best fighting type attacker in the game. Also a good Mega to try and get at Mega level 3, so you can get the candy as well as XL candy for the normal as well as a fighting typing, because it does take on that typing when it does Mega Evolve. That event is going to be taking us through the week into the weekend as well, but that's not the only thing going down on Tuesday. Please do not forget about the Spotlight Hour happening that evening as well on the 3rd from 6 to 7 p.m. local time. It is going to be featuring the Pokemon Whismur. The bonus in there is going to be 2 times catch candy. There are a couple of hidden things that we're going to run through here very quickly. Please consider playing this hour. The reason why is that Whismur, remember, is a Pokemon that only costs 12 candy per evolution. Unfortunately, in the month of February, there is no 2 times evolution hour, but what you could do, especially if you do have a lot of bag space, is to try and keep about 150 of these in your bag and save them, because what you could do, and let me just explain the match for you very quickly. If you did have a Mega level 3 normal type Pokemon out, including a Pineapple Berry every single catch, 14 candy per catch, which means 1 catch equals 1 evolution. So guys, you have an incredible opportunity to bank the candies to really take advantage of this 2 times XP evolution hour whenever it does come about in March. That's the first way you could take advantage of this. The other way you could take advantage of this though is to pop your mystery box and or your coin bag. This is a great opportunity to do this, because to try and get candy for something like Gimmighoul as well as Meltan is not easy. So popping this in this type of Spotlight Hour, I remember doing this for my Meltan, and I actually got 2 Hundo Meltans in the same hour, and I did it on this particular Spotlight Hour because it was just giving me so many candy per evolution, and because on Meltan's side it is a mythical Pokemon as well, you will be getting guaranteed XL candy. So guys, getting that 296 XL candy for a maxed out Melmetal is actually a lot simpler to do, especially with the strategy as well. Please consider popping these 2 things in this hour too. And just a quick mention for Gimmighoul going to Goldengo, you do need the 999 Poke Coins, which won't be available, but you still need the candy as well as XL candy if you want to power this thing up, especially if it's a 96 or above. Let's refer back to our calendar again, and let's go 1 day forward onto Wednesday, which is going to be the 4th of Feb. It looks like the only thing we really need to worry about on that Wednesday is going to be the raid hour from 6 to 7 p.m. local time, featuring Dialga as well as Palkia. We already showed you how good these Pokemon still are in Pokemon Go, but more importantly, we told you about Mega Evolving, especially a Dragon type, especially during this hour. This is a great opportunity to do this because you're trying to get the candy for the Origin forms, which will be coming at the end of the month. Please do not overlook that. These are the main reasons why these Pokemon are back in raids. If we look at the calendar again, it looks like the only event we need to worry about for the rest of the week is going to be the Oricorio Catch Mastery. The Bale style Oricorio will be appearing in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. The Pom Pom style will be in the Americas. The Powell style will be in the African, Asian, Pacific, and Caribbean islands. And the Sensu style will be appearing in the Asia Pacific regions. I think it's super disappointing that not all forms are going to be made available globally. I just think it's almost like, what's the point of that day, to be honest? The event bonuses is that it's going to be 2 times XP for successfully catching Pokemon with nice throws or better, as well as increased candy for catching Pokemon with nice throws or better. Spawning in the wild, we can see things like Hoothoot and Starly. Both of those Pokemon will be coming with a shiny boost too. In the field research, we can encounter Hoothoot, Starly, and of course that Oricorio. And because we know that Oricorio will be coming from research as well as field research, we need to know the 100% IV of this Pokemon, and it's actually very easy, maybe the easiest one we've ever come across. The 100% IV guaranteed coming from field research is going to be 1,000 exactly. So please screenshot that if you want to remember too. Bear in mind, for either event, whether it's the Carnival of Flmaigo event or this particular Catch Mastery event, if you purchase these tickets through the web store, you will be able to accumulate more Go points, which you can progress through on the web store track, and it will get you some premium items. But also, if you did purchase this ticket through the web store, you will get an additional 2 rare candies. Just a couple of things to remember this week as well is that please remember we are still still in the last month of the Precious Path season, which means we can get an additional 2 special trades per day. Guys, that is incredibly underrated. In fact, maybe when you're even watching this video, you would still be in the middle of DMAX Ho-Oh raid weekend, where you've got 10 to 15 Ho-Oh that you know you're not really going to use, but you could potentially trade as a special trade to friends to try and get a hundo or even schlundo if you're incredibly lucky, especially because that Pokemon is Dynamax as well. Guys, please take advantage of this. If you took the whole month of February and just did 2 special trades every day with either a friend or an alt account, guys, 28 days times 2, guys, that's 56 special trades in the space of 1 month. That is not to be overlooked, especially over time. That is how a lot of people get hundos, especially the pros. They trade their Pokemon, because remember, you can trade up to 100 Pokemon per day as well. This is one of the most underrated things of this whole season. The other thing as well is that you really need to try and push your friendships to get to best friends, because also in the season of Precious Pass, we are getting additional damage in raids. So when it comes to these Palkia or Dialga raids, when it comes to DMAX Ho-Oh raid weekend, you would have got extra damage if you weren't even aware, just being best friends with the trainer. And that's also stacking with the fact that just being best friends with the trainer, you get an extra 10% damage as a multiplier in those raids as well. So guys, it's all kind of stacking together. These are the things you really need to worry about. Please don't forget to chip away at your forever friends heart, so you can eventually make that remote trade whenever the time does come around with trainers around the world. And the other big thing we need to mention here is that we fully know the details now of the Kalos Tour, which will be taking place at the end of the month, but also the road to Kalos Tour. Guys, it's important to mention now that you want to start prepping and getting everything ready to go. Please remember to start collecting your 50 coins per day coming from gyms. We know that the raids, as well as the special backgrounds, are going to be heavily featured there. The FOMO is going to be huge, and if you are a free-to-play player, you need to start building this into your thinking, clearing out your bag, making sure everything's ready to go. Get your Mega Pokemon to Mega Level 3 if there are certain targets you want to get candy as well as XL candy for. These are the things we need to start doing now. We have actually got a video coming out in the next 7 days, which is going to be detailing the Kalos Tour of everything you need to know so that you're going to be feeling not overwhelmed. In fact, we're going to make it very simple for you so that you know what to really focus on if you have the ticket versus if you didn't have the ticket. And trust me, just wait for the video. It's going to put you at a lot more peace if it's still feeling like a lot of information. Because we've spoken about February a lot, which is going to be the month of love, we've just done a full February breakdown literally in the last day or so that you guys want to check out, from Spotlight Hours to Max Mondays, all the events going down in the month of Feb. Please check it out. We will leave it as the end screen, but we're also going to leave our Vulpix and Alolan Vulpix Calm Day end screen, which should actually be going live the day that this video goes live. So guys, please check that out just before you play it. It's going to detail how you really want to maximize that day as well. Love you guys. Go with us. Please smash that like, subscribe, as well as that hype button. It helps the channel out a lot. We know you guys love these videos. We really hope you enjoy February, the month of love. Have fun out there. Go with us, and we'll see you on the next one, baby. Shh.